Moss drive around here tonight. We'll see the names like John Merritt around here. It is 3.7 kilometers with 13 corners, 2 decent straights, connected by some very technical middle sector as well. The elevation is almost 30 meters, despite looking relatively flat on the TV. But tonight should hopefully give us a show in these BMW M2s on that you can see now on track and on your screen. The BMWs will be experiencing some wetness tonight in their championship run. And on top, after a really good first running at Virginia International Raceway, it is John Merritt that leads us on 104 points, with Connor Nixon in behind on 102. They really fought it out for the race win in round one. Ben Snell was just behind him, keeping it close and tight, but nothing was able to peep in for him for a win. He still sits in third on 97 points, with John Harris 89, Funslow 87, Leach, Brookfield, King, Zamora and Adams are the top 10 here. And then you can run it down to the 15. You can see Hen, Cousins, Heppel, Sharp, Booth down to the 15 and 66 points. And hopefully some of these guys a little bit further back can find some more points tonight. And you can see a little bit further down some of the new names as well, like Tarek Alani, some of the others like Dale Atkins, who's been around a bit longer. One of my former karting rivals as well, Mav Benson. It's always great to see him pop into GSRC. Nathan Michael and Jordan Dakin, followed by Hambley, Bradbury, Baldwin, Benici, Hodgkinson, Gander, Hanson, Heaney, Wakefield, and you can see David Baz also just peeking in. There was a big field actually in round one, and hopefully we've got a big field here tonight, and it does seem to be some pretty big numbers once again. I can see more than 30 names on our screens here tonight, and then in some of these low 30s behind Baz, you can see Heinrich, Reeves, Fisher, Gosner, Kale and Davis, and some of them had a DNF there in the first round, which is really unfortunate for those guys, but hopefully tonight in Japan will be a little bit better. We have a couple of other guys on board tonight with myself, Jordan Pianasola. I actually forgot to introduce myself at the top, so I forgot about that one. But I have Andrew Neal and Tyson Broad, so they will be doing some commentary with me tonight as we watch the BMW. So Andrew, how about giving a little introduction for yourself? Thank you. Well, start you out strong, can't I?
I'm about 3 words and that's it. That's it.
All right, no, I love that. All right, Tyson, how about a hello from you for everyone?
Yeah, hello everyone. Nice to be back on the mic for a change, and yeah, going to be a very interesting racing tonight in the M2s, particularly if it starts out wet.
Yeah, I wasn't actually expecting any wetness tonight. I didn't look at the weather, but that's kind of because I'm never planning on racing these BMWs. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of me and my thoughts personally with BMWs, but I absolutely despise the company. I'm not a big fan of anyone that owns the vehicles or anything, but nonetheless, that can be fed into the story a little bit later on. This is the track info on screen for you tonight. Obviously, we're running on the full course, you can see, and the track length, like I said, just about 3.7 kilometers. It's 3.65 here on your screen, and 27 degrees in the air with a bit of rain, obviously, there to help you. And then on the right hand side of the screen, you can see a little bit of extra info where it's lightly wet with some overcast, obviously, and the track temps at 22 degrees. But this is your grid here. Andrew Dyson on pole position, John Merritt alongside. He is the championship leader, remember, so he will need to start strong. Mark Heppel, Funslow, Chris Hen, Richard King out on the third row as well. Kudia, Baz, Ong and Zamora round out your top 10 there at 1.2 seconds back, as you can see the grid starting to stack up and everyone's starting to put themselves in their seats with the gloves on, and hopefully they can get ready to rumble and give us some good racing. It's Proctor in 11th, followed by King, Mav Benson Adam Laves, Guy Leach, Nathan Michael, Tony Baker, Jeff Adams, Brett Bradbury, and John Baldwin here in 20. 21st is Jordan Dakin, Rohan Kapadia next up with Jolan Hansen, Richard Brookfield, Callum Maxwell, Greg Heaney in 26th with Hilton Booth, and Aaron Bryan, Dale Sharp, and Pete Matson in 30th position there. A little bit of a discrepancy in times, 3 seconds back nearly. And Tarek Alani 31, Russell Gander 32, 33 is Wakefield, 34 is Hambley, 35 Fisher, 36 Heinrich, Snell and Weggett on the back row. The drivers will look to the lights, and so shall we. Get ready to rumble, everybody, because it is lights out and away we go. Dyson and Merritt will lead us into turn 1. You can already see some 3 wide action as the wipers are all moving around. Is that Merritt, I think, up into the lead immediately. Acetti needed a strong start. This is all for the championship as he holds it now on the outside. Turn 2 with Dyson on the inside, the pole sitter he was, now racing down to the right-hander, which will lead us down onto the back straight. A little bit of an S-bend to lead us in. You can see Heppel there in 3rd place. Everyone else single file behind. They've hopped into their carriage in the train. It's one of the sayings I love to say. And they are all aboard the train, and they can go choo-choo now away. Dyson and Merritt still drag racing here. It is off to the next hairpin for us, and this is turn 5 coming up next. Merritt on the inside. Does he take the lead out of this, or are we still going to be side by side? And it still seems to be side by side here. Merritt can't hold on. Dyson, after all of that work, holding on from the grid. It is half a lap of fighting, but they've slightly opened up to 3rd place. I think Heppel might have made a mistake a bit back there. Hen's trying to maybe pounce on that mistake. He's got Funslow, King, Baz, Cootie, and Zamora and Proctor out behind for the top 10 here. Merritt needs to find a way through early on if he wants to try and open a gap, or he can sit behind Dyson, maybe work, try open the gap up, and just battle this out later on. But Tyson, what do you think here of lap 1 so far as we come around and watch everyone through last corner?
Yeah, definitely good to see Dyson and Merritt here starting to break away, and I think that's probably what they're going to do. You know, these two very experienced racers, but also just noticing there was a bit of kerfuffle further back in the pack, and I think Dave Baz might have just lost his front bar there. So yeah, definitely nice to keep on those that are walking wounded.
That's unfortunate then for Baz, currently sitting in 7th. I see your comment there about the timing error. I think that's trying to be sorted in the background. At the moment, even on my timing screen, it's not. It is showing exactly what you can see on your screen on the left there on the timing ladder. It does show the only the top 19. Or actually 18 as running, and the rest are out. There is a little bit of an issue there, so hopefully we can get that one fixed. But you can see the front 2 have broken away quite substantially already. It's only lap 2 in this 15-minute sprint to start us off, already out to 2.7 seconds back at Dyson. This moment in the wet looks like he's just got that little bit of an edge on Merritt, and seeing like he wants to open up the gap. There's a couple of moves further back in the pack, and just trying to see who's moved up quite a bit. You can see Hen's up into 3rd, and he's actually moved up 2 positions. Proctor's moved up 3, King is down 3, and you can see him at the moment on your screen here in the number 75 as he's trying to battle in through the right-hander here. This King on the outside, by the way. See the rear end is just stepping out there in these lightly wet conditions in this, I'd say, what's this battle for? Oh, 3rd place there was getting a bit loose. I think that was Chris Hen getting a bit loose. Oh, they're a bit scrappy now on the main straight, trying to get the power down. I think there might have been a bit of contact. Who's that then? Funslow, I think they're 3 wide, potentially going back there into turn 1 as we not seeing that on the screen here. Have they gone off? They have gone off. I think Who was that in the white car? I think that's Hen, or is that Heppel? That's Heppel dropping down. Yes, you can see his name dropping down there. So there was a bit of a moment there at turn one that was clearly missed. Hopefully we'll get a replay of that in a couple of moments for you, ladies and gentlemen. But clearly a rough running into lap 3, turn 1 there. What did you notice in the background, Broad?
Yeah, definitely a lot of fighting going on early on, which, you know, especially around that top 10, which is important because there's an invert 10 coming up for the second race here. So, yeah, multiple is that there inside the speed off the front, as well as Funslow and Hen for a second pack for third and fourth. From fifth on back, it seems to be quite a battle for the final spots for the invert.
Look, yeah, nearly 40 cars around Okayama in the rain, not on your bingo card for the day. Look, I was saying a bit earlier how I despise this company. So seeing these cars as on a personal matter get into wrecks, I like seeing BMWs get into crashes. We've got to see one here. So how happy is this going to make me? Oh, that's a bit of a moment. So getting onto the brakes on the white line, lucky to actually dodge anyone. Or everyone to dodge him, sorry, and not clean anyone else up in that one. But Heppel, that's a bit of a moment he's going to want to forget about that one. Yeah, I don't think dry runners was the way to go in this 15-minute race. We're just about to clock onto 6 minutes here in the 15, so 9 minutes to go. Lap 4's just being started. It said no chance of rain on the forecast when I set up the server, but the timeline graph said otherwise. Nonetheless, I think it's giving us some good racing here, at least at the moment. A bit of action, and look, at least the drivers have got something definitely to work with. We're all used to dry weather. I'm not too sure how much running these guys would have done in the wet so far, because this edition of the BMW is still relatively new to iRacing. So not sure how many wet officials there have been, if there have ever been any yet in this car. I don't look at them because I don't ever plan on driving this car. You cannot pay me to even sit in one. If you buy me even one of a Hot Wheels car, I'm throwing it straight in the bin. I don't care. I don't want these in my life apart from watching them on the simulator and watching them here on Wednesday nights with GSRC, which is always great to see. Especially we've got more than 30 people. We're still not getting anything much better on the timing screen here with. You can see on the left there it says from 19 down. So I'm personally not too sure exactly what's going on there. Tyson or Andrew, do you know what might be going on with timing here?
I wouldn't know.
No, that's fine. Yeah, I know there was obviously more than the 30. Well, we had the 30 odd people all out on the grid, so there's clearly just a bug that's causing some type of glitch.
I wonder if there was a lot of people that started
It could have been an option. We can see the timing tower doing its thing, just having a bit of an act on the moment, moving a lot of names around. We can see Kudia and Baz are currently the top two, but I believe that is still going to be with Merritt out front with Andrew Dyson. That is, as you can see the name. I was just trying to remember who that was. I nearly said Mark Heppel, but he was the one that crashed earlier. So you can see the towers now just sort itself a little bit. So Funslow and Hen now third and fourth. They were able to avoid some of the drama that happened behind them on lap 3. They've broken away from all of that, and they're now going to fight for the bottom podium position in the first race of the night. Now, Tyson, you said there was an invert grid before. What was that exactly? Was that the 10 or the 15?
It was top 10. So currently Eduardo Zamora is currently holding on to the last spot. So we're going to get a replay here of Luke King. I actually did see this incident, well, the back end of it, but so here we go. Luke's got a bit of contact from behind there and sort of speared across the track. So yeah, not sure who the car was that hit Luke, but yeah, a bit unfortunate there for Mr. King.
Yeah, that wasn't a any moment to be happy with. That's definitely going to scar his night. Might be the car drawing issue or either network settings. I think it might be the amount of cars that are drawn in the replay. I know you can change that in the replay file. I don't know, or we're not going to be able to change it on the fly while we're live watching this race. We'd possibly have to fix that in between if we do get a moment, but not quite sure if that will be able to happen. But yeah, still watching on for third and fourth at the moment with Chris Hen and Funslow. They've got quite a gap in front and behind. Still Dyson leading the way. Merritt's not been able to give a bite back at the at first place since the first half of lap 1. Is King gonna look for a move here? No, just trying to show the nose, see if there's pressure. I think there might have been a move happening a little bit further behind there into the hairpin. I think there's Adams, you can see, making a move there for 12th position over Zamora. That just changed on the side, so Zamora's back ahead. They're fighting over 12 and 13. You can see them side by side in the background. As we come onto this short straight into this couple of little hairpins that lead into your final sector around Okayama. And I do love this circuit. It's quite a fun circuit, honestly. It doesn't matter what car I've driven around here, from 86 to an F4, even putting in a supercar. GT3s is a little bit harder, but GT4s I think is quite fun. It's even actually LMP3s we took around here once, and that then as well was a blast. This track, I've always thought of it to be quite underrated sometimes. I mean, it does get put on officials quite a bit, you know, in a lot of the lower categories, but I think this track really works well for it. There's a lot of passing opportunities. Turn 1's a good opportunity. Even just before the back straight, if you can get a move there. Turn 4, which is actually called Atwood Curve. A lot of these corners are actually named after some former F1 drivers or, well, yeah, guys that done a lot of international racing back in the 60s and 70s. Obviously, this place used to host F1 as I think it was a Pacific Grand Prix in the 80s. I think it was. I don't know.
I think it might have been the 90s, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. Good correction. I think you're right, actually, now that I remember. Now that you say that. So, looking here at Guy Leach on the back straight, he's not going to be able to make a move from back there again. Just trying to show the nose, see if he can just let Zamora have a bit of a moment ahead. Zamora wasn't obviously able to hold on against Adams. He was able to fight on and sneak ahead into 12th and try and get towards Matt Benson, who's in 10th. He's currently on the invert pole. Is Merritt trying to line himself up here potentially for a first place finish in the last lap, or do you think he's going to just stay in set and just take the points in second?
Well, they're coming to the last lap here, so I'd imagine that, providing that it's not a risky move, he would probably have a go at it. But obviously, they've got to keep in mind of the second race coming up. So therefore, hopefully they don't compromise themselves too badly for that. But they've got a 5-second gap to Hen and Funslow behind, so they should be able to give us a good scrap for the final lap.
I mean, yeah, I think if they wanted to get down and boogie, they've definitely got the time behind them to do so, but Merritt just needs to give himself the chance to do so. I don't think Dyson wants to give that chance either. What was that? Sorry?
Christopher Hen around.
Oh, he is too. Down in 15th position, so he's out of that battle for third. Funzalo's also obviously down in the list. He's down in 7th place now, so that's put Katia and Baz and Proctor up into the back end of the 5. Also, Katia now onto the podium, which is good for him. He's up a couple of positions. You can see 4 positions on the bottom of the right hand side of your screen there. Bradbury is obviously been through some dramas. You're going to see some more here. Oh, a bit of a rejoin and a hop there as well. So that was not very well executed by the car that was stranded in the middle of the circuit there. Clearly not really holding the brakes for long enough, as Dyson is now leading himself to a win. You want to butt in, Tyson, here?
Yeah, that was the Christopher Hen spin. That car sitting in the middle of the track. So, yeah, unfortunate for them, but here we are, the leaders coming to the final few corners.
So, race 1 just about done here, out of the final corner. It's called the last corner. It's turn 11, and it is down to the line. Andrew Dyson is on top, the 000 with DPR Racing. First place ahead of John Hotlap Merritt. He tried to fight it in the first lap, but the 64 not quite enough. You can see James Katia here for 3rd place. Dave Baz, he's in 4th place. And Proctor in 5 after the early mistake in the final laps here of Funzalo and Hen. You can see Ong, Benson, and Adam Laves round out your top 10. So Adam will be on your invert pole, and Benson in 2nd, Ong 3rd, and so forth upwards. And you can see Adam's here in 11th, Zamora 12, Leach, Michael, Hen 15th place there after the early fault there on the final lap. And then it is followed by Baldwin, Maxwell, Capadia, Bryant, Dakin, Heaney, Snell, unfortunately down in 22nd, so he's way off pace compared to where he was in the first round. Obviously, he started out on the final row, if you recall the grid positions. And then we can see Hansen, Sharp, and Gander round out your 25 with Baker, Matson, Wakefield, Heinrich, Fisher, Booth, Alani, Hambley, Brookfield, and Heppel. Heppel obviously out in race 1 due to the turn 1 incident where he kind of got on the brakes on the white line. So, we can also see King and Wegger also down at the bottom there, and they round out 38 cars that we see here in sprint race 1, and it's still, I think, wet conditions leading into the next race, if that information is correct. You can see here also the amount of points that they've all scored for the positions on screen from 1st to 20th, Andrew Dyson, and down to Dakin in 20. So a decent race there in the first one. Normally, as these races do go on, especially in these sprint races, it gets a little bit more spicy as it goes on. They've got a 2-minute warm-up here, and you can see that sort of going on in the background as well. Now, what do you think of that race there to start us off in on this Wednesday night here, Tyson? Okay. Good chat, Tyson. Thank you for that.
Oh, sorry, my mic was muted for that one. Yeah, no, I was just saying, very interesting race. Dave Baz proving that the front bars on these cars just add weight. And yeah, deciding that getting rid of it was better for him, and yeah, turned out pretty well for him. But yeah, definitely an interesting battle from about 7th on back there for the invert, and Adam Lavis ending up with race 2 pole.
Yeah, it'd be good to see Adam on the front row. He's obviously a good set of hands here in GSRC. Does a lot of running in some of the other categories. How about a quick little sponsor run for who gives us all of our support here at the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. On screen you can see Disruptive Labs as one of our main supports, as well as the Waste Options. They love our GT3 racing on Monday nights. Trophi.AI as well. They've come on board recently with some help as well with the supercars. They're a great little place to get some help. Have a look at them. Trophi.AI. Merch.tsgrc.com. That is a bit of a tongue twister for myself to get out, as well as flash graphics for everything you can see happening on screen here tonight. And then obviously back around for another grid start. We can see Maverick. Oh, sorry. I always got to say Maverick, but I need to remember it's Adam Laves. I honestly don't know why. I've never gone into discussion about that. But Adam Laves is on the pole position with Mav Benson here. So, okay, 2 Mavericks. That doesn't really help me much there on the front row. Ong in 3rd, Funslow 4, King 5, Proctor 6, Baz 7, Katia 8, Merritt 9, Dyson 10. That's the invert of the top 10 from your last race as well. You can see Adams here in 11th, Zamora 12, Leach in 13th, Michael 14, Hen 15, Baldwin 16. We are already racing in the background. I didn't quite get that through that quick enough. I'm not rap guard like Zach. I need to remember that for another time. But into turn 1 here, Adam Maverick will lead us through. It's again Adam Maverick, I'm saying. It's Adam Laves. I'm confusing myself here with Maverick Benson, who I'm also wanting to say. Now, you can see there in the red car is Benson in 2nd place. Funslow 3rd, Ong 4. They're battling out behind. A lot of 2x2 action through the S's down to turn 4. Adam out front currently has a bit of a lead here. As you can see some of the puddles on the inside. You want to stay away from that, everybody. Not really get on that with these cars. They might be a little bit underpowered from what I've heard, but I'm sure you'll still loop yourself around real quick in one of these. They're drag racing down to the hairpin at the end of the long back straight here. We're going to see any drama in through the right-hander. Funslow in through to 2nd place. Mav Benson trying to hold on to the outside of King. King's going to have to slot in. Proctor nearly getting himself up the inside. You can see Merritt up into 6th. He's obviously had a bit of a good start from 9th place. Dyson in 8th. He had to start from 10th. That was the invert pole. He's off and off nearly into the tyre barrier. Someone's got some front end damage there as well. A couple of cars back and just off screen. Here's Merritt up the inside. I think that might be Dyson that actually has a little bit of damage on the front end, so some drama for Dyson potentially. Is that who I think with the broken front end? And it is who I think it is with the broken front end. Andrew Dyson having to dive into the pits here. Oh no, that is not what you'd want to start the 2nd race here on lap 1. 10 minutes longer. It's 25 minutes here of racing in your 2nd one for the night on Wednesday with the BMW M2s, the production car series at GSRC. Here's a replay of further back in the field into some of the tight hairpins. 3 wide, nearly 4 wide actually, I think there. And Brian just getting tagged from on the inside. That's a bit of an unfortunate moment, and I think he's taken himself out of the race and pressed the escape button on that one. You can see Nathan Michael as well. He's got a meatball, so I wonder what has happened to the man in 15th on your timing tower on the left. I have to see if we can get a replay of that one as well. But you can see Maverick Benson here, the name on the screen. He's in 3rd. He was a little bit wide on the last corner onto the back straight here. And in behind him is King and Merritt, who's wanting to potentially make a move in the end of the back straight. Here's Nathan Michael, and I think his meatball. Is he doing what Heppel done? Oh, that is very much a repeat. Very much a repeat. That is a identical incident, I would have to say. And he is, I think he's driven that one back to the pits as well. I think he's now out on track in 18th. You can see on the left-hand side of your screen. I'm excited to see what Mav Benson can do here in the BMW. I haven't seen that bloke since... Oh, Jesus. I think it was 2017. No. Yes, 2017. It would have been the year I won the Victorian Country Series. in the tag light class. It was probably the last time I seen Mav, and I used to always love racing against him. It was a really fair race. As we see a replay, here's Ben Snell on screen. He's going to get tagged from behind, and that was an incident that he was clearly a victim of. He was just going into the corner, minding his own business, and the incident behind already happened into the brake zone. I'm not sure who that was. Sorry if one of you two do know who that was that ended up going into the back of Snell. I didn't see that on SDK either. Here's a mistake. Yeah, there's Matt Benson off, so trying to gloat him up, and I've commentator cursed him. He's not had a good moment there through the right-hander onto the back straight. He's dropped a couple of positions out of 3rd place into 6th now. He's going to see if he can try and work back up towards. He finished just at the bottom end of the 10 in race 1. So clearly a little bit of pace within his hands in the BMW. I'm obviously not quite sure how much he has done. You can see him just getting a little bit of the gravel on the outside of the double left-hander. Nearly said double right-hander. It's a double left. Looks like a right from where the cars are coming from, at least from the way I'm looking at it, and that's how my brain just went to go say that for that moment. Unfortunately, Matt Benson's dropped down a few positions on this lap due to a couple, or due to the mistake that put him through the gravel trap. And Adam Laves now is he's always been the leader, but now we're watching him on screen. And Funsley, 2nd place, trying to hunt him down and potentially take away the win. Tyson, do we know if this weather is sitting stagnant this whole race, or is it potentially going to lighten up at all, or change in any way over the next 20 odd minutes?
Not in the next 20 minutes, unfortunately. I think if we went for 40 minutes, we'd actually see a benefit of, because the rain is going to stop in that amount of time, but obviously we've only got 20 minutes left. One thing to keep in mind, though, we do have a compulsory pit stop in this race. So I'm a little confused as to why Dyson pitted on lap 1, unless they have enough fuel to get to the end from there. Because Dave Baz proved in race 1 that you don't necessarily need the front bars on these cars in order to gain a bit of speed. So, yeah, in my view, I would have waited until you could have pitted and got to the end. But who knows, maybe they are able to get to the end from the end of lap 1.
I mean, unless it was a little bit more than just the front bar that was playing a part in the damage roll. I mean, that's all it looked really like. There might have been a little bit of tyre or steering damage on that one, but
I didn't see he had a mechanical meatball flag on that one, so he could have kept going if it wasn't too bad, but he must have deemed that it was too much to keep going.
Yeah, very much so. He could just be trying to get out of the train, and also maybe see where he's going. Obviously, I haven't really seen any onboard views tonight to see what it's like sitting in behind the slipstream of someone. So maybe he also just couldn't really see much of where he was going. So again, just maybe a couple of reasons as to why he could have just hopped out of line early, but he's taken an early stop. A couple of others have also taken a stop. Tony Baker and Eduardo Zamora have taken a stop. Heaney is in at the moment. You can see his name on your left. He's actually just exited the pits now. But everyone in, at least what's on my screen here, saying the top 20, they have not pitted, but obviously we're only 8 minutes in, so a little bit of time, and doesn't quite seem to be that much spray happening on the window either. So I reckon you could definitely have stayed out, Andrew Dyson, that is, and yeah, not quite sure exactly as to what the reason was to why he pitted. Maybe he can hop in for an interview later on and tell us why. I'm not sure if I'll lead the interviews later on, because I'm gonna hop into the V8 Supercars later on tonight, and they are racing at Watkins Glen on the Cup layout, which is going to be fun. That's my favourite layout of Watkins Glen. I absolutely hate the boot section, but I don't even know why. I know it's fun. It feels so fun when you nail it, but I think I just suck that much at it. That's why it's not. That's why I don't like it, because I just suck that much of that section, where the rest of it's easy. It's some fast corners, the bus stop's not too harsh. It sort of reminds me like the old Daytona one. You can just fly through it a bit easier compared to the new edition of Daytona, you know, that is. As we can see a couple of battles there on screen, but yeah, I much prefer the Cup layout at Watkins, and I'm keen for some supercars tonight, so I might have to leave you to run the interviews later on, Tyson, if you're okay with doing that.
Yep, all good. One thing I do want to point out as well, both Hilton Booth and Richard Brookfield up 17 spots, although that has now changed since Brookfield has decided to come into the lane.
Yes, a couple of big climbers here in race 1. Sharp's also up 12. He's in 12th. Hansen behind. He's up 10 positions. Brett Bradbury, yep, he was up obviously the 17. Brookfield's up 10. And quite a few have also climbed quite a bit, but obviously that's going to be changing around. Very much in the mid-pack with the pit stops also slowly starting to cycle in. Jeff Adams has also taken a stop out there. You can see Dyson and Zamora, they are in 17th and 18th. They're the first two on track that have pitted, and I'm trying to figure out potentially how much of a gap is between them. It's 5.9 seconds between those two, so potentially a bit of a gap for others to slot in. So Dyson as well, he's got what, 1.5 seconds in front. You can see that to Aaron Bryan in front of him, who's got a little bit of a group. So Dyson's just got a little bit of clean air to work with at the moment, and hopefully that can pay him some favours later in the race. We're 11.5 minutes in. You can see that on your top left. Lap 6 here of the 25 minutes. Now, I know Zach loves to be like, oh, we're doing this many laps in this amount of time. I absolutely suck at that. I can't figure that stuff out for the life of me unless I'm using a calculator, and I'm too busy to be doing that right now. So I don't actually know how many laps there are, but I'm sure Tyson will be able to butt in and tell us, as we see the replay here of Jordan Dakin trying to execute a move and trying with failure on that right-hander. Unfortunately, just going a bit too deep here in the wet and not executing the move. That's not what you want to be doing in that one, Mr. Dakin, as we're trying to get past Baker, and you can see, I'm not sure who that was in behind, but nonetheless, Adam Laves now, and you can see Merritt, he's worked his way up to second place, and remember, he was originally racing Dyson in the first one. They're very much apart in race 2. I'd like to see where Andrew can line up, obviously, once everyone does the pit stops. But John Merritt, he's definitely on a different strategy here, running through the field on lap 7, up from 9th to 2nd position, and looking like he wants to get a move done here on Adam Laves. Is one of these guys potentially gonna, and when are these guys potentially going to dive into the pits? It'll be good to see. I'm not too sure what the fuel capacity is either on these guys, but Tyson, do you have anything to say at all?
Yeah, just noticing as we see John Merritt challenging Adam Lavis here for the lead. Just quickly, pit stop times, you're looking at about a total time of 24 to 25 seconds. So people are probably looking for a gap in the traffic in order to feed in, as we see Merritt making a move on Lavers here.
So not too long, honestly, through pit lane. Obviously, the pit stops are very short. They're obviously just getting a couple of leaders thrown into the car. Merritt tried to get the move in for the lead at the start of the lap. Wasn't able to get it done there. Adam Laves, like we said at the top of the race, is a good set of hands. There's a lot of racing within GSRC and a lot of background help in the broadcasting side of things as well. He's defending the lead here from Hot Lap Merritt. He's made his line once, so good moving here, good defensive stuff by Adam leading the way. We've also got the two Adams on either side of Mr. Merritt here. Adam Laves and Adam Funzelo. Rich King's here in fourth, and Proctor's trying to potentially close up in the background. He's just on the 1 second mark as these guys maybe begin to scrap on through the next couple of laps. It might be time for some of these guys, especially if they're going to start battling, to dive into the pits. You don't want to be losing up too much time, especially if there's some faster guys deeper back in the pack that are able to use up the free space in front of them, and while they're not battling, use the extra time. And I think in behind we were seeing one go into the bits, and that was Funslow diving to the right. Because I'm just looking on SDK here quickly. You can see some big climbers. Hilton Booth's up into 13th. He's up 18 positions at the moment. Heinrich's up 14 and 15th. Tarakalani up 16 in 16th. Wakefield and Fisher behind 11 and 12 positions gained for both of those gentlemen. Dale Sharp's into 10th place as well. He's gained 14 positions at this point in the race. So some big climbers at this stage. Obviously, John Merritt's up 8 positions and into the lead. Did I miss something here while I was looking at SDK?
I think Adam has dropped from the server, so I think he must have disconnected or something.
That's how I looked at my left screen and I suddenly looked right, and there is just no Adam Laves on screen, which that's not what I was wanting to see at all. He was putting in an absolute performance and a half here so far. It says he's 17th and still on the timing tower there, but I think, yeah, there's an issue that's happened with Adam, unfortunately. So unless you see him pop back into the screen, I think he is gone out of this one, and that's now put King into second place, Proctor third. Matt Benson's back up to fourth after obviously his early mistake into the pits. Obviously he's fighting with Baz in the background. You can see them side by side as they head into this little right ebb in behind. Baz obviously still holding on. Now Benson's ahead. They must still be side by side, just in behind through these couple of sweeping right-handers. There's a dive into the pits, and that was the red of Mav Benson, I believe, entering the pits. Hao Ong has also dived to the right with Benson. So some more pit stops happening. We're at the 17-minute mark, so not too long left to happen in this race, and still obviously it's quite slick out there. Obviously wish we were getting some longer laps in this race. I would have loved to have seen more of a change in conditions in the weather, because that always just adds a bit of natural spice to strategy and everything on when to dive in or dive out. And here's Andrew Dyson trying to battle a bit of a dive out on the pits here. I think that's Mav Benson on the outside here for turn 2, and that is Benson. Dyson is now through into 6, and remember where Benson was just before the pits. He was only, what, I'd say 5-6 car lengths in total behind John Merritt. He was a couple of positions behind, so not far at all. So that clean air has, I feel, worked for Andrew. He's got himself into a good position here. So when Merritt pits, and that's got to be coming soon, when Merritt pits, he's going to come out really close here with Dyson, and I think they're potentially on par to give us a run to the finish. You said there was, what, 24, 25 seconds for the pit lane? It's currently 26 and a half seconds between those two, Tyson.
Yeah, but the thing is that Funzo has already pitted and he was racing Merritt, and he's about 4 seconds in front of Dyson. So it all depends on how much fuel you actually feel as though you need to put in to get to the end.
Good point there. Thank you very much.
As I noticed, Funzo took 1.5 seconds less fuel than Dyson did at his stop. So, yeah, that's obviously a factor there.
Yeah, 2.3 seconds versus 4.6. What, 5.4 for Matt Benson. Ong was 4.9. So they were around the 5 seconds to high 4s. But Dyson, 2.3 seconds for a biz stop. Clearly, really underdoing the fuel. He probably didn't want to do the 1 lap margin. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say that he took as much fuel as he thought he needed and not a milliliter more.
Yep, taking it. Oh no, Adam. You need to find I think maybe find something new for you to do on a Wednesday night, because yeah, BMWs, they're trash. I'll always say this, they're trash. No, Adam, you're fine. You do whatever racing you want to do. Just yeah, so maybe see if we can get that sim to not crash next time while you're fighting for a good position. Hey. So Merritt is on screen and leading the race. He's got to be diving into the pits soon. We're coming on to the 21 minutes mark, and the laps are what, 1:55s they're doing, so only what, 2 or 3 laps left in this race. Merritt's now going into the pits. Now he's got 22 seconds to Funslow, 26 seconds to Dyson, 27 to Ong, 28 to Benson. Now, where is he going to butt out of the pits compared to those gentlemen? Obviously, Funslow was 4 seconds here ahead of Andrew, which you heard Tyson say just a moment ago. John will be looking towards the exit of his pit box in a moment. 4.2 seconds for him. So you remember the 2.3 for Andrew. There's Funslow ahead, running down the back straight. Merritt's exiting the pits. Where's he going to line up? There was also King and Proctor. Merritt's got him in front. He is exactly where he wants to be in race 2 here. The sprint feature with only a handful of minutes left, and he's got what, a 1.5 second gap pretty much to Funslow behind. Didn't quite work for Dyson. King was able to butt out just ahead. He's what, 8 tenths ahead of Andrew Dyson here, so a little bit of a gap actually ahead of Andrew. He's got either side actually a little bit of a gap as well, so he's going to feel safe at the moment. Just take 4th place here and run with that for the championship. Now, one of the other names I was unfortunately I wasn't happy when I didn't see him on the list, and it's Connor Nixon, because he absolutely gave Merritt a run and a half in race 1 over, or just sorry, round 1 over at Virginia International Raceway, and I was keen to see what Nixon could have done in round 2. Unfortunately, he couldn't rock up tonight, so hopefully he can rock up in some of our other rounds further into the championship. Next up in BMWs is Road America. Tyson?
I've got news on that. Connor won't be turning up for a while. He's decided to take a break from sim racing.
Ah, come on. Why?
Personal stuff, really.
Okay.
It's not really my
fair enough
about it.
No, that's I can accept that. That's fair enough. I know life does its things and gets the better of us, and whatever it is, yeah, it is what it is. But hopefully we can see you just back out here sooner than later, Connor Nixon, if you ever do get to see this moment here. But Ben Snell, unfortunately, as well. He was 3rd for round 1. Unfortunately, he's not quite on pace here, but Merritt, he's closing up towards a win here in Okayama. We've had a replay up of Capadia. What's going to happen here at turn 1? Turns in, seems all okay here. I mean, he blinked out down the straight. So far, so good. It is a replay. I'm not sure what that replay exactly was of. Yeah, okay. Well, he does have a black flag next to his name, so there must have been something that happened to him. So unless it happened while he had netcoded off of existence, but John Merritt, he is got the support of the Lexus of Melbourne and Pulse Tuning behind him, and he is closing up towards another win here in the BMWs, or at least, sorry, in the production series. He hasn't won yet so far. It was Nixon, obviously, who won round 1 and in Virginia, but Merritt is closing up, at least on his first win of the season. And hopefully this will lead him towards a championship win later on. Obviously, Snell's not going to score any points substantially in this one. A couple of other names that are some big hitters to start off in the standings. Obviously, John Harris wasn't here, but Funslow will be gaining some really good points here. 4th in the standings. He is going to be gaining some points, but no better than John Hot Lap Merritt, who is on top here in the BMWs for the first time in the 2026 Season C with your BMWs. The M Sports Cup sponsored by merch.t, GSRC.in.com. It is Merritt, your winner here in the sprint feature. Funslow getting some wonderful points in the second race here for his championship as well. That'll move him up a little bit, I think, as well, with King in 3rd, Dyson 4, Proctor 5, Ong in 6, Maverick Benson in 7th place. I reckon he might have been up a couple of positions, maybe only in the back end of the top 5 if it weren't for that mistake early on in the race. You can see further on is Chris Hen, Katia, Zamora round out your top 10 for the BMWs, and then you can see further down the list here on the side, it is Baz, Adams, Leach, Heaney, Snell 15, Heppel, Brookfield, and I missed that, Brookfield, King, Baker, Dakin, Booth, Maxwell, Hanson, Baldwin and Bradbury out to 25, and then you can see Adam Laves, unfortunately, rocking up in 26th on the result screen after the sim fault that happened. So hopefully next time that doesn't happen. And Hamley, Sharp, Heinrich, Alani, Wakefield, Matson, Fisher, Gander, Aaron Bryan, Rowan Capadia, and Nathan Michael of the field of 37 in the second race here on the BMWs, and I believe that is it for the BMWs. Before we will head into the supercars a little later on for the Watkins Glen Cup, that is the round 2 for their series, and you can see a couple of the drivers obviously hopping into the broadcast green room as well, so we'll get them brought in ready for some interviews in a moment. But the results were John Merritt on top with 50 wonderful points against his name. That'll hopefully go a long way into his championship. Obviously, another 8 rounds to face until the end of the season. Some of our names have dropped in here, and how about let's start with our winner, John Merritt. That was some good racing there in race 1. Obviously, you just sort of took second place, it seemed. Just took the points. You tried to fight it in the first lap. Couldn't quite get it from Andrew Dyson. So it seemed, from my perspective, you just took second and settled. In the second race there, you had to fight your way through. Starting 9th, you were picking, drivers off left, right, and centre, getting up to second place, and then obviously by the end on the pit stop, ending out in front of the other drivers. How did that play out for you in behind the wheel?
Yeah, Jordan, race 1 was some good racing. Well, the first lap was fantastic. Andrew, we were very even, but just stronger in different parts of the track. So, which these cars seem to equalise a fair bit. So, I just couldn't do too much. I could sort of get to point 3, but I couldn't really get a run on him, and he didn't make a mistake. So, yeah, race 2 was awesome. Some awesome battles, great fun. I think I might have burnt the tyres off because I was really struggling the last 5 laps. But commiserations to Mav, he was unlucky. I think he had a disconnect, but it would have been a good battle to the end.
Yeah, Adam did have a disconnect, which was really unfortunate for him. It looked like there was still going to be a bit of competition in your way. Obviously, he's a great set of hands and great defender as well. Were you expecting the wet racing? Because I know when I hopped on, I wasn't expecting to see the wetness.
No, I'd done 5 laps in the dry and jumped in and went, oh, I got a pre-warning from Tony Baker, and I went, oh, I wonder if that'll be around all night. But it was actually good fun. These cars aren't too deathly deadly. They're not too unfriendly on the curbs with sort of the open diff and not over horsepowered. So it just makes good finding the race, the right line or the fastest line.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to be one to ever get in behind the wheel of a BMW, so I'm not ever sure how they'll drive in the wet. But yeah, in comparison to other cars that you've driven in the wet, like especially in the production cars, do you think they need a little bit of work, or do you reckon they're pretty bang on that iRacing's done?
No, I think they're pretty like, interestingly, it was probably fairly similar to last week in terms of the lack of front end turn in the car. And I think I was exaggerating it early. That's probably where I was finding time. I was able to get the car to rotate, but certainly the fronts were struggling near the end of the race there. Versus an 86, an 86 has obviously probably got more rear drive and is interesting. You can overcook an 86 much easier. Let's go far faster, I think. These are a little bit more docile in that sense in the wet.
Yeah, I know you can absolutely wring the neck out of an 86. So obviously you just got to be a little bit more, I'm guessing, controlled in the BMW. I guess it's... would you say it drives more closer to like a GT4 or something? Obviously, I'm never going to drive one of these, so that's why I'm asking.
You're not a fan or not going to buy?
Well, one, I'm not going to buy it.
Isn't it?
It's free. Yeah, I was about to say, I'm not going to buy it because it's free, but also somehow it doesn't pop up in my in the my content list on iRacing for me. So I love that. Thank you. But no, any BMW, I'm not going to buy it. I'm never going to buy it. I'm never planning on driving it. But yeah, so I still kind of want to know.
Yeah, I think look, you can probably rush at the corner more in the 86 and just get the rear working and overpower the car. Just a different style. This, because of that nature of understeer, you've got to be conservative and not try and get into the ABS too much. I think that's the key to the car.
Yeah, I feel like you can obviously you can mash the ABS in an 86 and you can get away with it, no worries.
Yeah, spot on.
Yeah, so yeah, sounds like a bit of a difference to deal with in the BMWs, but they seem to be lining up well in the GSRC group. We got more than 30 on the grid again. Hopefully, we'll get more than 30 on the grid next time. We'll be heading into Road America next time. What do you think of that place?
Yeah, awesome track. Awesome. It'll be a long track in these cars. Again, they might be a bit front tyre limited throughout the race, but what we noticed last week, the draft isn't that evident, so it might help you just stay. Hopefully, some good pack racing, and like tonight played out, the gaps weren't that great through the field, which hopefully that just keeps the fields consistent and deep for the rest of the rounds.
Yeah, well, I also remember from the last race as well at Virginia, you guys were saying the slipstream isn't too great in these things, so hopefully we can find something better of a setup-wise that can maybe produce that for Road America, because I feel like
needs
Road
it.
America would need that a little bit more, especially for these cars if you want to keep the packs that much closer. But I'm going to start closing it up on my end here because I've got qualifying that I need to do for the V8 Supercars. I've only just remembered and realised during this interview here, John. So I'm going to end up leaving the interviews to Tyson for the rest of in here, which I think is only Ben Snell. But I just want to leave it off with a really good well done here from you in tonight's racing, John. That's going to promote you up. Well, obviously you were first in the standings already, but that's just going to promote you up further into the lead. I heard tonight on the broadcast from Tyson that Connor's not going to be rocking up for some time apparently, so there's a little bit of a maybe leeway for you in the championship going forward, especially with Ben not putting in a showing tonight at all. But he'll be able to tell us that in a moment. But yeah, again, well done to you, John, and I'm keen to see you back out on track next week at Road America and the BMWs.
Thanks, Jordan. Good luck with the V8s.
Cool, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm probably going to do absolutely horrible though. But yeah, look, I'm probably gonna wrap it up there on my end quickly here. I'm not going to hold up too much time, but thank you everyone for watching and listening to me. My name's been Jordan Pianazzola. I'll leave you now in the hands of Tyson Broad. But quickly before I do that, actually, sorry, Tyson. Ben, thank you for showing in. Hopefully we can see you a little bit further up in the standings next time.
Cheers, Jordan. Enjoy the V8s.
Cheers. Thank you, mate. All right, off to Tyson.
Yeah, well, I think Jordan's pretty much covered off John Merritt, but just quickly, who would you like to thank for getting it done tonight?
Just the Pulse Melbourne Lexus crew, Tony Baker, mate, being an able Discord chat buddy, and yeah, the club obviously, and race control, and obviously the broadcast.
Yeah, all right. Well, thank you for stopping by.
Cheers.
All right, we'll move on to you, Ben. Obviously, probably a little disappointing night for you, seeing as though how well round one went for you. But just sum it up from your point of view.
Oh, well, it all started when I joined the session with 2 minutes left of quali. I went, well, this is my drop round for the season because, yeah, just unfortunately got held up at work. So I got home super late, jumped in, went, oh, God, it's wet. I've never driven this car in the wet. Tried to do a recon lap in quali and kind of have a feel for it. And, yeah, it was just fighting through the pack, and it was good fun. I enjoyed racing. It was definitely worth hanging around and having a race. But, yeah, definitely not great in terms of the old results.
Yeah. Aside from the results, though, what did you think of the car and track combo? Obviously, mentioning you never driven the car in the wet before, but just how did you find it out there?
Oh, just looking at the broadcast, and yeah, you caught my great moment in race 2. So yeah, it's more of the same. Like John was saying before, the car is front limited. It's a very understeery car, and as opposed to the 8.6, you can't throttle on and try and rotate the car. If you get on the throttle, it just understeers even more. So it was pretty much about not overshooting on the brakes, which I did plenty, and just trying to rotate the car before you get on the throttle. It's probably one of the better tracks to do in the wet with this car. The way you need to square it off, all the corners are quite square, so that makes it a lot easier. But yeah, it was an interesting combo. It was good fun. I managed to stay mostly out of trouble, other than getting punted in each race. But yeah, one little incident's not too bad.
Yeah. And just quickly moving on to Road America next week, how are you feeling about that car and track combo?
Yeah, it should be fun. Yeah, like we were saying before, these things aren't super drafty, so I don't know if we can add some wing or something to them to make a bigger hole and get a little bit more draft action. But it should be a lot of just line astern and everybody nose to tail, and a good bunch of pack racing, just not as aggressive as we saw in the 8.6s.
All right. Well, with that, Ben, I'll let you go. But before you head out, who would you like to thank?
Just as always, thanks to you guys for putting on the broadcast. Be good to go back and have a watch tomorrow, see how it all went up the front, because I didn't get to watch it live. And again, shout out to the club for putting this on, giving us these unique combinations to have a crack at. And big thank you to the missus for even though I got home and I've just basically ignored her straight away and jumped on the sim.
All good, Ben. Well, hopefully better results next time.
Thanks, mate.
All right. Well, Dale Sharp is in here. I know he's joined to help out with the V8s, but since we've got a bit of time, we'll quickly wrap up his night in the M2s. Dale, how did you find it out there for yourself?
Very wet. Yeah, I just thought I'd come in and get a head start. But yeah, results wise, I was nowhere. But I mean, that was a lot of fun. I was like 29th, but having the battle of my life with Joel and Hanson for 30th. And it was good fun. I mean, these cars were pretty drivable in those wet conditions. They weren't like it wasn't, it wasn't undrivable. It was just a lot of fun. Obviously, there's a lot of guys ahead of me that got their head around it and found the right line before I did. But yeah, it was a good fun race.
Yeah, definitely. Are you looking forward to Road America next week in the M2s?
Yeah, that'll be a completely different style of track. So yeah, it'll be interesting whether drafting comes into it or not. But yeah, I like Road America, so hopefully we'll get it a bit closer up the grid.
All right. Well, with that, who would you like to thank for getting it done for you in the M2s?
I'd like to thank Bailey Ladders for supporting Aussie races for a lot of years now, and yeah, their logos look great on the cars, and yeah, and just all the guys in the team, Aussie Racers, and everyone at Gentleman Sim Racing Club for everything they do, for allowing us to do what we do.
Yeah, all good. Well, thank you, Dale, for agreeing to wrap up your M2 showing tonight, and yeah, we'll have you stick around for the V8s.
Yeah, no worries, cheers, mate.
All right, well, Andrew, since we've got a fair bit of time for before the V8s, what do you reckon we should do here to fill the time, or should we just go for an extended break? Yeah. Yeah, all right, well,
Also got to reload.
yeah, okay. Yeah, all right, well,
Yeah.
thanks,
Is there
guys.
anything is there anything I need to know? Like, I think someone.
Hello and welcome back to Gentlemen Sim Racing Club, where tonight for the V8 Supercars we are taking on Watkins Glen with the Cup configuration. So we are saying goodbye to track limits tonight, as this beautiful circuit, been around for ages, and very good racing provided for the Gen 3 Supercars around this circuit. I'm Tyson Broad, and joining me for the race tonight is Dale Sharp. And Dale, what do you think of this car and track combo?
Yeah, I like this layout. It's a pretty simple layout. So it's one track I was a little bit closer to the on the pace than other tracks, but yeah, I think it's going to produce a pretty tight field. There won't be much between it in qualifying, I don't think.
Yeah, definitely. I can see the top 10 separated by just over a second, so fairly tight here as we see the track conditions with 27 air temp, and yeah, couple of Ks an hour wind, and yeah, really looking forward to racing here tonight, as qualifying is still underway with just 2 minutes and 30 seconds left.
Well, there's not a whole lot of corners to get wrong, around here, is there? So I imagine they'll all be pretty tight, and should be some pretty close racing.
Yeah, definitely, but also it just magnifies the mistakes with how few corners there are as well. So
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, so you can see the standings from last week at Sandown. If we can get those up, please. We can see Andrew Dyson leading the standings at the minute on 196, with Jake Slade in second, Alex Tzidikis in third, Jaden Green in fourth, Craig Bond fifth, Ryan Barber sixth, Dylan Walker seventh, Wayne Sheedy eighth, Ryan Nielsen ninth, and Andy Barber rounding out the top 10 there. As we can move over to the dev split here. As you can see, we got Daniel Snedden leading on 201, Jonathan Harris in second on 189, and we've got Jamie Fleming, Jeff Adams, Jason Tryman, JD Dent, Hayden Watson, Jordan Pianazzola, Drew Collins, and Max Carroll rounding out the top 10 there. So definitely going to be an interesting night. Only the one race tonight, 40 minutes straight up. So yeah, definitely going to be very interesting out there.
Could be a bit of strategy, a bit of fuel saving going on with one race.
Yeah, definitely. Only the one CPS as well, so it's basically going to be an out-and-out sprint with just where you time the pit stop and how much fuel you take on being the deciding factor here tonight, as we're coming down to the last few seconds of qualifying. Yeah,
I'm not quite sure on the fuel numbers around here, how short they are, or whether it's going to be a quick splash and dash or a 20-30 odd litres. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's definitely going to depend on the fuel cap here. I think I looked earlier, it's about 55 litres, so just over half a tank. So yeah, definitely going to be very interesting, as yeah, the last few laps of qualifying are coming through. I only really see a couple of cars electing to run the session out. I believe we're on board with Sam Cullen here. Went across the line, bit of wheel work around the last corner here to complete his final lap, as that was only 200ths of a second off his best in qualifying. So unfortunately not an improvement there right at the end for him, but yeah, he's still in a pretty decent spot, which we'll run through in just a moment. As you see, cloudy skies at the end of qualifying here. Not sure whether it's going to tick over in the race. It looks like it might tick over to be a little bit more sunny, but not too drastic. As we're just getting the final one a few seconds before gridding. Yeah. As oh, never mind. It's decided to play tricks on me and be overcast. So
Old temper system.
Yeah. As they're getting ready to line up here on the grid, we can see we've got James Scott on pole position with Adam Haynes alongside him, Sam Cullen and Will Buchanan for the two RER cars on the second row, with Ryan Nielsen and Terry Marsh on row 3, Oscar Haynes and Sean Rigby on row 4, with Ryan Barber and Ross Armour rounding out your top 10 there. As we move further down, we got Andy Barber in 11th, Dominic Buddle in 12th, with Alex DeZekas, Nathan Michael, Jamie Fleming leading the dev split, with JD Dent, Adam Maverick, Jason Timon, Mitchell Noble, Max Carroll, David Young, Hang Ong in 22nd there, with Wade Sheedy, Jeff Adams, Richard King, Hayden Watson, Daniel Snedden, Bryce Barker, Jake Partridge, Aaron Bryan, Tom Pritchard, Jackson Sufong, Pete Madsen, John Pianazzola, and Jaden Wilcox managed to squeeze onto the grid there. So, yeah, he'll be starting right at the back. As we got about 20 seconds left on the grid before lights out here. And we'll be off and rolling for 40 minutes of racing here at Watkins Glen. As the revs start to rise, anticipation builds. And we are underway for Trophi.AI Supercars at Watkins Glen. And Adam Haynes will be kind of trying to pull along sliding that turn there. But apparently James Scott is out of the lead. Ariadne side by side. We see a little bit of shuffling further on back in the pack. Well, so far so clean. Heading into the bus stop for the first time. So we see everyone getting through the bus stop nice and clean.
Yeah, it's
And now,
clean start by everyone so far. It's well done by everyone.
yeah, definitely. Cars running wide. You can run wide here, but obviously got to be careful on rejoins to not take anyone else out, otherwise you will get the penalty.
Yeah, there's a whole lot, as you can see there on the screen, there's a whole lot of runoff there, and so you can get away without any damage, but yeah, you just got to be careful with your rejoins as well. Overlap, but it's probably fairly forgiving in the sense of not creating a wreck fest as we got the see Alex Zekas under pressure there. But yeah, you've got the runoff area, so it'll probably avoid some of those monumental pile-ups that you typically see.
Yeah, definitely helps with all the track space to have good avoiding action. As we see Will Buchanan here trying to get a move on and trying to close up to Adam Haynes. He's going to try and drag along his teammate Sam Cullen here in the 258 car behind him. As, yeah, we see JD Dent dropping back through the pack. Not quite sure what's happened there, and he's actually got no front bar on his car. Got quite a bit of damage, so yeah, it looks like he'll be limping that car back to the pits at the moment, as we can hopefully get a replay.
Hayden Watson dropping down the order also.
Yeah, you can see JD Dent through the chicane here. Oh, he's he's had a wobble, and then
Oh, that's a
car
big
behind has cleaned him up. He's, yeah, got to try and try to see what's happened to Watson here.
Oh, that's a
big one. Nice Beyblade action.
Oh, the
there.
wheels come off too. Yeah.
Yeah, it was, unfortunately.
Sometimes need those big accidents to see the what iRacing's done with the damage model.
Yeah, definitely. As we can see here, still Will Buchanan trying to close up to Mr. Haynes in front of him, and starting to do it, starting to close in that gap. Well, I think a little bit bigger than that, but yeah, at the minute it's starting to close down in favour of the RER driver.
But yeah, that's a side effect of such a fast track, isn't it? You don't really realise the speed you're doing until it goes wrong and you hit concrete, like we saw in that example.
As cars in the pits, those are just the ones that have unfortunately seen contact and damage early on. I think JD Dent's just managed to get back out on track, and he might be getting in the way of the leader slightly here, but he's doing his best trying to get out of the way, but it's just hard where he's come out on the track up through the S's.
It's a very awkward spot.
Yeah, definitely.
I've been in that position before, and you're in the mirror more than you're looking ahead, which probably isn't a good thing.
Yeah, definitely. Just looking back at a couple of people, Wade Sheedy up 8 spots from where he started, so good start from him. Daniel Snedden up 7, and Jackson Sufong up 9, along with Jaden Wilcox as well. So definitely a couple picking up some bold positions at the start of the race. As we see Terry Marsh here in the Revolution E-Racing Mustang. He's got JD Dent there behind him, but then he's got Ryan Barber behind him that is actually full position on track.
Yeah, so we've got JD Dent, he's made his way back out onto the field, and we've only Hayden Watson, the only retirement at this stage, so that's pretty good in the early going.
As we see Jordan Cannonzola in the pits, not quite sure what's happened there. Looks like he's trying to get his stop done, which I'm not 100% sure if you can make it from here on fuel, but worth giving a go.
I'd be interested to see whether you can pit now and make it to the end, but even if you can, that's a big ask for your tyres. I'm sure they'll be looking pretty second-hand by the time you get to the end of this one.
Yeah, definitely. As we see Adam Haynes, under pressure from Will Buchanan and Sam Cullen. So maybe the two RER cars work together here to try and get their way past the HGS racing car of Adam Haynes. It's either that or staying behind, look after your tyres and fuel, and hopefully either under or overcut him at the pit stop phase.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, isn't it? You've always got the option, and it's always hard to know exactly what to do, or whether you go attack, try and get the track position, try and drive away, or do you just back off that tiny bit and conserve your gear and try to have a better car at the end of the race.
Yeah, definitely. As doesn't seem that this pack of 3 has got any answer for James Scott. He is just bolted away at the minute. The last lap, 3/10 quicker than anyone behind him, and showing his class and his speed. These guys are probably going to just realise that James is probably going to be a little bit too much for them to get unless James makes a mistake. So I reckon that probably just realising that they're in a race with themselves until either James makes a mistake or they manage to find a good chunk of pace in the latter half of the race.
Yeah, so in their position, like I say, both in the same team, I'm sure they're in the chat together. It probably makes sense just to look after your gear and keep it straight, save some fuel, save some tyres, and hopefully it puts you in better stead come the end of the race.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a balancing act, because we can see Jamie Fleming here. He's currently leading the dev split at the minute, having a little bit of a quiet race, it must be said. He's got Nathan Michael not too far up the road in front of him, but then he's got a little bit back to the second place in the dev split, which is Mitchell Noble. So yeah, definitely a battle to keep an eye on for. Yeah, definitely last lap, it looks like Mitchell did close in a little bit. 3/10 quicker last lap than Jamie Fleming, so definitely a battle that's going to heat up over the course of the race.
Yeah, always interesting to watch that battle within a race. Yeah, I always found myself in the dev split and always racing the same guys, and yeah, it's definitely one to keep an eye on. There's not much between them, you know. Noble's trying to stay there, Stevens there, and then you've got Maverick. He's only a couple of seconds behind Stevens, so it'll be interesting as tyre wear comes into it, fuel use comes into it, and pit strategy, how that group in the middle there all sort themselves out and who plays the strategy the best.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be very interesting to see how the dev guys play the strategy, and it's going to be very interesting to see how they fare. So yeah, mainly this battle for second is really the big talking point at the minute, with Adam Hayne doing a very good job to hold off the two RER cars at the minute. Just managing to hold ground, not lose too much time, and not really battling at the minute. Managing to be just good enough to ward off Buchanan from having an attack.
Yeah, it's interesting because when you come across guys and you're around about the same pace and you're doing the same lap times, it's sort of, starting to battle each other. You're only going to hold each other up and cost yourselves time. So if you are doing around about the same lap time, the same as I said before, the case of just not going as hard, not pushing the limit, take care of your tyres, take care of your fuel, and play the strategy game.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't think Adam Hayne will want to battle too much and get sucked further back, because Buchanan and Cullen will have another RER car to help out with Terry Marsh being first on the scene if they battle it out. So as you can see, Richard King currently running 22nd overall. Not 100% sure where he is in the dev split. I think it's about 5th or 6th at the minute. Just playing about his day, up 3 total spots. So
he's got sixth position. He's got Daniel Snadden ahead of him. Carroll. Max Carroll. Yeah, this is all for position. The battle they got going here.
As Carroll makes an attempted move at Snadden, but Snadden just runs it wider, and as we can see, Richard King going by him as well. So as again, this battle for second is our main focus. Is definitely an interesting battle. As we can see, Haynes starting to go defensive on Buchanan, who Buchanan runs a little bit wide and decides to tuck back in. Maybe gaining an advantage off track might be frowned upon by the stewards. He's got Sam Cullen, probably not challenging at the minute, as Will's making a challenge at Haynes in front, but definitely in Cullen's situation, it's definitely interesting. I'd imagine that maybe the RER cars try and split the strategy, with one going short and the other going long to try and get further ahead.
It's quite possible, but I mean, will we be seeing James Scott get further and further away in you know, and you don't want that gap to get any bigger, otherwise it's quite a mountain to climb. So he might have decided, you know, it's time to go and get the second spot and see if he can try and bring the gap in.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely going to be interesting to see if Will thinks he has enough pace to close the gap a bit on James Scott. Definitely going to see how desperate he gets to get by.
We've got Dominic Boodle trying to having a go at Adam Maverick. I believe this is both for position in the dev split as well.
Yeah, Dominic hasn't been assigned a class yet, so it's probably his first or second time out. So yeah, but I'd imagine he'd probably be slotted in the dev split since he's racing against guys like Mav and Snedden and that are already in the dev split.
Good chance he'll end up where he's racing. As we see Adam Maverick taking his pit stop now, getting out of the pressure zone, and hopefully come out in some clear track.
Yeah, definitely. This is probably the earliest I'd expect people to start in pit. I think he's missed his box as well, very slightly. So that's going to cost him even more time, unfortunately.
And like you say, those little mistakes, that's what it comes down to in the end.
Definitely. Yeah, this battle for second still going on with Adam Haynes still in the lead of this battle. As he has a little bit of a wobble out of the final corner, and that's going to give Will Buchanan a sniff. As I think that was Terry Marsh heading into the pits behind. So yeah, he's going to try and get himself further away from Ryan Barber, I believe. And hopefully manage to hold him off later on when Ryan comes back at him with fresher tyres.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's, like I say, those are pitted early. They're asking a lot of the tyres. I haven't done the maths on how many laps we're expecting here, but I mean, I'd imagine you're asking a good 20 plus laps of your tyres, which would be looking pretty second hand by the end. I don't think I'd want to be. I think I'd want to be trying to split it up around here, where tenths and grip is going to be key.
Yeah, definitely. I think because it's a cooler track, people are more enticed to take the gamble and pit a little bit earlier for their compulsory stop. So see Will Buchanan trying to put a bit of pressure on Adam Haynes here, but unfortunately, I think one of those moves in that flow section has just cost him a little bit of time to put him a little further back than he would like. See Michael here. As, something that's going to be interesting as well is cars pitting with another car directly behind them as well. That's going to be something to keep an eye out for, and maybe potential incidents happening later on.
Yeah, we've seen it plenty of times around here before the pit entry. If the driver hasn't let the driver behind know, they can catch out really quickly around here.
Yeah, definitely. We've got a replay here of this is the Hayden Watson incident before.
Oh, that's a big one. That's bits of car going everywhere.
Yeah. As Ryan Barber leaves the box now after a 20-odd second pit stop there, so I'm a little bit unsure as to how much fuel you have to put in.
It's going to be interesting to see it all play out. Some guys, like I say, if you're tucked in behind someone, they might be saving some fuel as well,
Yeah, definitely. Terry Marsh, I've seen, has had a 34 second pit stop there, so not 100% sure on why that's happened. But yeah, that's cost him bulk time compared to Ryan Barber, who I believe he was ahead before the stops.
Yeah, like you say, it's hard to judge how much fuel they're needing with such a big discrepancy. Like I say, you don't know whether some guys have had an issue where they've missed their box or Yeah, but it's going to be interesting to watch it all play out. I'm not sure how big the pit window is, but what are we on now? We got no, we're still a few minutes away from halfway, so yeah, so those guys might still be a good half a dozen laps away from pitting, so you want to run the fuel out.
Yeah, definitely. As we see the 8:20 of Jason Timon get a 5-second penalty for a racing room in contact with car 227 of Jake Partridge there. So hopefully Jason can get 5 seconds further up the road than the car behind him to alleviate that 5-second penalty. As I've just noticed that Sam Cullen has actually dropped back from the battle for second at the minute. He was right on the back of Will Buchanan, but he's now about a second and a half behind compared to before. So, yeah, as we see, Ross Armour, the defending Dev Split champion, which is why he's running the O-line there. As Daniel Sneddon has had a PC freeze on him. So that's unfortunate.
No.
That's unfortunate there.
Well, it's always iRacing's way of, we don't have mechanical failures, so when someone has some sort of hardware failure, I guess that's where that comes into it.
Yeah, if we can go back to Buchanan and Haynes, they were side by side entering the last corner, but looks like Haynes has managed to hold him off for the time being. You can see a few more cars behind pitting. It's Ryan Barber and Ryan Nielsen as well pitting. As Daniel Sneddon's decided to take this as a drop round.
And, don't blame him.
Yeah, Haynes has had a bit of a wobble there. And that's going to entice Buchanan here to have a lob at the bus stop chicane. Is he going to do it?
Dangerous
spot. Side by side. There's Haynes. Haynes has the inside run through the mid part there and has managed to keep in front of Buchanan there.
He's about to have a teammate come and join him for company by look of there. He's having another go. Will's decided he doesn't want to hang around behind Adam Haynes here anymore. Is he going to try the outside?
There's bit of glue, bit of contact.
A little bit of paint rub, and now he's down the inside. Yeah. I think there'll be a little bit of return. Thanks, and now Adam Haynes. Now this is the problem. I mean, in the end, you just hold yourself both up, and James Scott skips further up the road. But I mean, I don't blame Will's. He's obviously sat behind there pretty much since the green flag dropped, and he's decided he wants to do something about that gap ahead.
And just in behind them too, Sam Cullen decided to dive for the pit lane, as we see Jackson Sufong running it wide at the bus stop and managed to not hit anything, which is quite impressive from
done
how
pretty
far
well,
and
he's a nice safe rejoin as well. That's a very good example of how it should be done.
Yeah, definitely. Kudos to Jackson there for not making that bigger than what it could have been. As we're just past halfway here, and I'd imagine that we'd see the majority of the pit stops happening in about the next 8 to 12 minutes here. As speaking of which, I think Will Buchanan's going to head for the lane, as well as Oscar Haynes, as soon as Adam Haynes as well. Sorry. Definitely, those two are going to try and beat each other in the pit stops. It seems.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see whether Will can jump him. This would be where the every milliliter he's been able to save will count. If you can have that half a second slower, quicker pit stop, that makes all the difference.
Yeah, definitely. And we're riding on board with James Scott here, and we might actually just go for a lap around with James Scott when we get to the line here. But yes, you can see the wheel work through the carousel there. Quite a bit of steering lock on, and a bit of sliding on exit. Those Dunlop really starting to feel the pain at the minute.
they make it look easy, don't they? When they've got the lead and they're pulling a gap, but you just cross the in car, and it's definitely not easy. And these aren't easy cars to drive. I've definitely struggled, but just shows that even the top guys at the front, it's plenty of will work, but definitely not in cruise control.
Yeah, definitely, as Buchanan's got ahead of Haynes in the pit stop sequence, but through turn 1, running up wide in third gear and straightening up the entry for the sweepers here at turns 2 and 3. He's definitely dancing with the car getting light over the top of the crest. He's running it down to the bus stop here at on the back straight here, tipping it in with fourth gear, smashing over the curbs, and getting it through the carousel 5 with quite a bit of steering lock on. And those front left tyres definitely feeling the pain here. Flinging it onto the back straight, running it wide. Thankfully the FIA isn't watching this race, so we can not worry about track limits. And heading into the final 2 turns at 6 and 7. Again, very, very flowing corners here, not really any tight corners as such on the lap. As James decides that another lap on the tyres is suitable.
Yeah, and that's when you're out in front. I guess you can take whatever strategy suits you, and this is probably what suits him now. Like, take the pain with the worn tyres as long as you can, and you've got a gap. So even if he drops off the pace for a handful of laps, he's got that buffer, and he can put fresh air tyres on later in the race, and from there he's going to be very hard to beat. As he comes in now, is he making the stop now?
Yeah, Mitchell Noble there in the pit lane. We're looking at Ryan Barber and Alex Fazekas here. Both these guys have made their stops, so this is actually a battle on track for position. Currently 10th place, but obviously this is all going to change as I think the final few cars are pitting. I think the only one left to pit, James Scott, who's obviously leading the race, and Peter Madsen as well, who's currently running 14th overall.
So James Scott going one later, and he's in the pit lane now. By the look of it.
Yeah. So he decides to have enough of those Dunlops and decide to throw a fresh set on for the final 15 or so minutes.
And so he'll have the fresher tyres and the lead and a gap, and he's going to be very hard to beat from there. Yeah,
definitely. As the only car left to pit now is Pete Madsen, who's running 11th and currently leading the dev split, but unfortunately he's going to have to
got a bit of an invoice to pay yet.
Yeah, there's Mitchell Noble is on pit exit there. Lucky not to get cleaned up by
that was a fine line between okay and something really big.
Yeah, definitely. As definitely looking up the front, we can see Sam Collins actually jumped Will Buchanan as well in the pit stop sequence as well. I believe Sam hit a lap or 2 before Buchanan, so definitely something to keep an eye on there with the tyre delta. As Jamie Fleming here still leading the dev split, and he's currently battling with Ross Armour, who's in the elite split.
Looks like they're both battling for. So they're both in the elite split, battling for 10th and 11th, I believe. No, 11th and 12th.
Yeah, definitely an interesting battle brewing. Obviously, them two racing in 2 different classes, so wouldn't be wise for them to battle too hard with each other.
Well, it's the same like we saw at the front of the elite, isn't it? You know, do you battle or do you try not to lose time? You know.
Yeah. Jamie does have a bit of a gap to second place in the dev split out of Maverick. Currently sitting at about 5 seconds in the the lead of his class. So definitely probably can afford to go and gain overall positions. But obviously keep in mind that he obviously wants to make sure that he takes home the dev split crown tonight.
Yeah, we just got Terry Marsh sitting in 13th between the two of them there, and he's on the comeback trail after his lengthy pit stop, which was not sure what happened with that one.
Yeah, definitely. As we can see, Will Buchanan has closed up to the back of his teammate Sam Cullen. I don't think this will be particularly hard for Will here compared to the battle with Adam Haynes earlier on tonight.
No, I think he's got one lap fresher tyre, so that'll help him a little bit. But yeah, I think he's smells blood in the water and
So
trying to get done on the outside around here. And this is interesting with the yeah, you want to make sure you haven't got overlap there, but it really seems like he's had to try and attack all race here to get himself about where he is.
Yeah. Yeah, at least it's like to fight it. I mean, I suppose they can, seeing as though that Adam Hayne is currently a couple of seconds back, but obviously got to make sure that these two don't hit each other. Otherwise, they will probably have a very angry team boss in Greg Brooks.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like, I'm sure they'll probably be in communication with each other, but it's interesting to see what strategy. I mean, teammates can always battle. I mean, we encourage that in Aussie races, you know. We battle each other like the same as would battle anyone else. It's never a good look if you make contact, but it can happen. And Will looks he looks hungry. He looks like he's not very happy to just sit there in third, and he wants past his teammate.
Yeah, definitely. I can certainly think that Will is wanting second place here, as he's got about 10 minutes to get it done on his teammate Sam Cullen. But he's also got to get the move done and then get far enough up the road to make sure that Sam can't get back by him.
Yeah, that's it. It's yeah, I say it'll be interesting to see how much these guys want to fight. They may have, you know, realised that maybe Captain James Scott is a bit of a bridge too far and decided they're going to race it out for second. But yeah, I mean, so I fully support. But yeah, like I say, you want to be careful that you do at least still finish second and third, and don't make it a whole lot worse for himself and the team.
Yeah, definitely. As we see Mitchell Noble here after that small blunder heading out of the pits. He's currently sitting in third in the dev split.
Yeah, despite that mistake, he's still got the podium spot in the dev split. So he's recovered pretty well. He's probably had a pretty consistent run apart from that one mistake. Yeah, probably cold tyres catching you out a little bit. We've all done that.
Yeah. Apparently, Will and Sam are on different sides of the garage, according to I believe that is Greg Brooks there.
Oh, so it's boys have at it.
Yeah, definitely. As that's something that we want to see from a broadcast point of view, and certainly something that certainly something that Adam Hayne hopes to see as well, to hopefully close back up to back of this pack here, and try and sneak onto the podium.
You've got Adam Hayne. He's not too far behind. He's only about 3 seconds behind Will Buchanan. So that's what they want to be careful of. If Will decides he wants to have a go, which he definitely looks like he wants to have a go, you know, if they hold each other up any more than a couple of seconds, Adam Hayne's going to be right there as he gets a bit wobbly through the through the S's there, that would be a very scary moment. But I think he'd be watching what's going on ahead of him, and he'd be wanting to see him battle. He'd be wanting to see him side by side and be saying, "Yep, keep battling, boys, and I'll be there soon."
Yeah, as we see, Will Buchanan get by Sam Cullen here. So, yeah, it seems as though Will might be able to now scamper up the road away from his teammate Sam Cullen, but hopefully drag him along. So therefore, yeah, RER cars can stay in second and third and not have Adam Hayne disrupt that party.
Well, it was definitely a hard earn for second place. Will's got there. It's taken him 33 minutes. It feels like we've been trying to get second place, and he finally got it done. Persistence is key.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Sam's going to hope now to stay on the back of Will, avoid losing out to Adam Hayne here. But I think Sam's going to take no blessing in the fact that there's only 6.5 minutes left to go in this race. Not in any additional minutes.
Yeah, I think, at this point, you'd be looking in your mirror and you'd just, because he got about 1.9 seconds to Hayne now. So in that exchange, he's pulled him in just over a second, but I think that would be Cullen's focus now, is to consolidate the podium spot, make sure Adam Hayne doesn't get there. But from a broadcast standpoint, I hope Adam Hayne does, and we have a battle for the podium spot at the end.
Yeah, definitely. We've got about 5 laps to go here, depending on time.
Yeah, I can't do my maths. My brain, we haven't got the Zaculator. That's pretty official to Zach, I think.
Yeah, definitely props up to him. He's currently tied up with the Moser Porsche Provocational, which is currently happening. But yeah, we're currently sitting here watching the Trophi.AI V8 Supercar series here on the GSRC. As we've got 5 minutes left to go. Probably about 4 laps left to go in this race. So
I think about four laps and then comes to the line.
Yeah, definitely. As James Scott has dominated this race from start to finish. We'll see Terry Marsh here battling with Jamie Fleming. And Jamie, I think, is just letting him go here to consolidate that Dev Series win. Yeah,
I think you don't want any unnecessary damage or drama or contact this late in the race. And like you say, two different races, and I think Jamie's recognised that and decided it was a fight he didn't need to be in.
Yeah, definitely. There's the field definitely has spread out over the course of this race. Basically, wherever you look, there's cars on track. It's not really that big of a gap on track, so yeah, any more cars, and I feel as though that traffic might have been a bit more of a factor than what it has been tonight. As we're getting a replay here of Jackson Sufong, who's not having a good night at all.
Looks like he's already having a few steering issues to begin with, missing a front bar.
Yeah, and I think he's just called it quits there.
Couple of laps short of the end, and Woods call it a night, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Samsung's still hanging there with Will. It doesn't look like he's really close enough to have a dive, but it's going to be interesting whether he has let Will go to cool his tyres down a bit and have another go at the end. But Will does seem to have it covered at the moment. He's got some traffic ahead of him. We haven't had any issues or with that traffic tonight, but I guess it's a track that lends itself well to, if you get you're one of the elite guys, you get a run out of those S's, you're going to have a fair bit of speed down that back straight on that traffic, and especially with Dev guys, so you can probably do it easier than you can some other tighter tracks.
Yeah, definitely. Just noticing Adam Hayne gained about 0.3 of a second last lap on Sam Cullen, so this battle for the final spot on the podium might not be over just yet.
Yeah, he looks closer to Sam now than what Sam is to Will. So Will looks like he's getting a few tenths up the road, and Adam's coming a few tenths closer. You see the comparison there.
Yeah,
every lap
might be playing a role as well here with car
play
diving
a big
out the
part.
way.
Yep.
Yeah, as that lap was 0.6 quicker for Adam Hayne. So yeah, definitely with about 2 laps to go here.
I'll be interested to know whether this is a strategy from Hayne, whether he's just been sitting there looking after his stuff for 85% of the race and decide it's go time, literally press the tyres. You see the lap cars getting out of Will Buchanan's way. You've got the lights flashing on Cullen's car.
Yeah, definitely. As that's not ideal. That's not ideal for Cullen there. That car had a perfect opportunity to get out of the way on the straight of all the leaders, but decided not to at that point. And yeah, that's a real bugbear for the elite drivers. Cars being in the way when they've had a perfect opportunity to get out the way. Obviously they are entitled to a race, but also they also have to respect blue flags.
Yeah, well, that's right. It's always hard. I mean, as the being one of those dead drivers and getting lapped before, you've got to make the decision. You're coming up to the bus stop. You've got the blue flag on your screen. So you know what the situation is. And now, especially if you're not really in a battle for a position, then you think you'd be a bit more cautious. But yeah, it can get frustrating for the elite guys. If you've got 2 dev guys battling each other for position, well, they're probably not going to be too concerned with giving the elite guy too much room and focus on what's happening in front of them. But they've managed it pretty well there.
Yeah, it's James Scott now going to the last 2 corners here to finish what has been an absolutely dominant drive here for the 088. As he's coming around the final corner now, James Scott is going to win the Trophi.AI Supercar Series here at Watkins Glen for round number 2. As we see this battle here with Will Buchanan and Sam Cullen here to round out the podium, and it looks like Cullen, if he gets good drive, is going to hang on to P3 here with Adam Hayne in 4th place. And then it looks like we're going to have to go a little further back to find Ryan Nielsen, who manages to get home in P5.
Yes, he had.
Adam looks like there's a crash final corner.
Oh.
And it looks like it is Pete Madsen.
Oh, no.
And looks like he is managing to get that car rolling and going to get that car across the line to finish here. But unfortunate to have an incident right at the end there.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to hear from Adam Hayne. He only ended up 2 tenths behind Cullen at the line. I mean, always one of those cases like would have loved another lap,
Yeah, definitely. As the last few cars, I think, are coming across the line now. And yeah, I think now that everyone has crossed the line, we can go to the official results here. As we're going to go replay of this incident as well. Car on the inside there is, tried to make a bomb at the last corner and unfortunately made a meal of it and collect Pete Madsen there. So definitely
it's hard.
For him.
I can understand you wanting to have a goal in the last lap if you can make a position, but that was an unfortunate way to end for both those guys.
Yeah. So I think those are qualifying results there. Andrew, if we can get up the race results for racing here tonight. As we've got James Scott taking out in dominant fashion with Will Buchanan in 2nd, with Sam Cullen in 3rd, Adam Hayne, Ryan Nielsen, Alex Tzidikis, Ryan Barber, Sean Rigby, Nathan Michael, and Andy Barber rounding out the top 10. and then with Ross Armour, Terry Marsh, and Wade Sheedy rounding out the elite competitors tonight. As we move on to the Dev Series, Jamie Fleming, Adam Maverick, Mitchell Noble, Richard King, Max Carroll, Jeff Adams, Tom Pritchard, Jason Timon, Aaron Bryan, Jake Partridge rounding out the top 10. And then we got Pete Madsen, Jordan Pianazzola, JD Dent, Jackson Sufong, unfortunately not making the checker flag, along with Daniel Sneddon and Hayden Watson there.
Yeah, I think Hayden was our only retirement out of the whole field, I think. So that was pretty well done. And there was only 2.5 tenths between Maverick and Noble at the line too. So it was a challenge on for second and third at the end of the dev split there as well.
Yeah, definitely a very good night. I think we had a couple more retire early on with Oscar Haynes, Hayden Watson, Daniel Sneddon, and Jackson Sufong not making the checkered flag here tonight.
Yep.
But,
we had Sneddon and Oscar Haynes. So, yeah.
Definitely. We'll see if anyone wants to join us tonight for a post-race interview. Give it a couple of minutes to decide to sign off. But overall, Dale, racing as a whole tonight, what did you make of it? I know it was certainly interesting, especially with the couple of battle packs we had. Points of the race.
Yeah, it was definitely very good race. Good race to watch and call, and it was just interesting watching the early pitters, the middle pitters, the late pitters. Just see how they use their tyre life and a few of the positions change. And I think we had the differing tyre life all coming together there at the end between the podium of both splits. But yeah, it was definitely interesting watching the all the battles behind James all play out. They were never really decided until the end.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like no one wants to join us for an interview here tonight, which is a little bit disappointing. So with that, I'll have a look at the schedule that's coming up for future events in the Trophi.AI Supercar series here on the platforms of the GSRC. So obviously we've had that one might be a bit off. There we go. So we have Watkins tonight, then Chicago Street, Phillip Island, Sebring, Adelaide, Coronado, Bend, Road America, and Long Beach to round off the calendar there. So definitely going to be very interesting to see.
So all that extra runoff area we had tonight, you don't get that next week.
Yeah, definitely. As we do actually have some drivers here for an interview, so I think we'll start with the race winner, James Scott, here tonight. James, welcome to the broadcast. Quite a lonely race for you tonight. A bit unfortunate there not to have some competition, or are you glad to have a bit of a gap there tonight?
Nah, it would have been good to have a few other, obviously the more drivers the better. Spiel and I missed last week with the State of Origin. Thought the Blues were going to get pumped last week, so I was going to join the race, but we had a chance, so stayed and watched that. But yeah, back for round 2. Yeah,
definitely. Obviously, this track, no stranger to yourself. How do you find it in the supercars here?
Yeah, no, it's all right. Probably not one of my favourites, but yeah, it's all right. Yeah, usually can be a bit processional racing with quite easy to stay behind, but hard to pass. But yeah, luckily enough tonight, car was not too bad. So yeah, just able to control it, I guess.
Yep, and looking forward to next week, Chicago Street Circuit. Are you going to be rocking up for that? And if so, what do you think?
Yeah, I'll try. Don't know what I'm doing tomorrow, let alone next week. But yeah, I'll do my best to make it. Hasn't been one of my best circuits traditionally, so yeah, we'll have to yeah, make sure that we're a bit better than we were tonight to do well there.
Yep. All right. Well, I think that wraps up the questions for myself. Unless Dale wants to ask a question.
Yeah, just quickly, James. So I think it was lap 21 you pitted. You went one lap further than everyone else, and then you come out with the fresh tyres in the lead. Were you, when you got that gap, were you saving some fuel to try and get an extra lap out of it, or to try and increase that gap?
Nah, mate. Yeah, no, I probably could have got a couple more laps. But yeah, there was a few cars just ahead, so I was, rather just pit and yeah, see how we go. But yeah, just wanted to get a bit of a tyre offset in case it was a safety car or something like that.
Yeah, so it was more of a tyre wear as to what brought you in. Like, did you just try and stay out as long as you, try and manage the tyres as long as you could, so you had fresher ones at the end there?
Yeah, no, I could have easily gone another 10, 15 laps if I had enough fuel. I think I still had another 3 or 4 laps left, so, but yeah,
right.
There was a massive bunch of traffic, like lap cars ahead, so I just thought I'd get out of that pit.
But tyre life wasn't too bad around here tonight.
Nah, the car actually started getting faster once the fuel sort of was burning off. Like it sort of dropped off over the initial sort of 5-6 laps, but then held it steady for a bit and then started getting faster. So the car was awesome tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all right.
You got that lead, and you're never headed. Well done.
Thank you.
Yep. And just finally, James, who would you like to thank before signing off tonight?
Yeah, all the guys at the Chiefs. Great to be representing them with Aussie Broadband, Logitech G, and Westfield. And obviously the guys at Revolution E-Racing as well. It's good to have a sort of partnership with them for these series. So yeah, thanks to all those guys. Good fun.
Yep. Well, speaking of RAR, we might move on to actually we'll move on to second place. Will Buchanan. Will. Definitely spent a bit of time looking at the back end of other cars, but eventually you managed to make your way through for P2 tonight.
Yeah, the setup was not there tonight. That's all I can say. It was probably bad pace for me today.
Yeah, so blame the setup builder. Nice to hear that. Definitely used that excuse a few times myself.
I had to resort to a bloody VRS setup, I think. I had nothing else. Nothing else was feeling alright, so I was having to be simple and go use that because it's the only thing that felt good.
Yeah. All right. Well, despite the setup not being to your liking, happy with the race and how it panned out.
I mean, I wish could have got past earlier and took Hayne, I think it was, and then try and work with Sam a bit better in that first stint to get us up into the top 3, but ended up working out. I knew we would have the quicker pit stops for being in the draft the whole time, so it worked out in the end.
We noticed it seemed like the first 3 quarters of that race, you just had to battle for every inch he got, and when you finally got second over Sam Cullen there, it seemed like a second spot that took you 30 minutes to get, that you fought every inch to get.
Yeah, no, it's fun. It's always fun battling your teammate, and it was good to see Sam's pace tonight. He's been a bit unlucky lately in his racing, so it was good to see him get a good result and show the pace that we all know he has.
Yeah, we noticed there was no going easy on your teammate. You definitely looked racy and signalled your intention that you wanted to finish ahead of him nonetheless.
Yeah, no, it's just good. It's good friendly battling as well. It's also helping us for the future as well, doing some overtakes with each other or defending. So it's all good for the future.
Yeah, it all helps with it. Helps with the racecraft.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, Will, who would you like to thank before getting out of here?
Obviously all the guys at RER and all our sponsors, AITX, Shieldco, Sudspeed, Kibby, Slady's Glassworks, and IR Sidekick, all the support they give us behind the scenes. We can't appreciate that enough, so thank you.
Yep. Right. Well, we'll move on to move over to Daniel Snedden. A bit of an unfortunate night for you tonight with the PC problem there. But just until then, how was your night going?
I feel like I was going good. Like I was saving tyre, saving a bit of fuel, just trying to keep it all together. I could see everyone else being a little bit too racy, and I probably could have done similar to what James done and run a bit later. But yeah, I come into that the long right hander and just froze, and I wasn't too happy about it. I can tell you that right now. The neighbours probably know as well. But yeah, I kind of sat here for about 5 minutes and thought I better finish this race because yeah, it could be a drop round, but points are points, so we'll try and grab what we can.
Yeah. All right. And Chicago next week. Hoping for better luck next time.
Oh, absolutely. I love Chicago. So if we all can make it around turn 1, that'd be fantastic. So if everyone can get that motto, that'd be sick. But yeah, I'm pretty keen for it. I love that track. Is that a super sprint?
I think it's just a sprint. But yeah, with that, if there's anyone else you'd like to thank before getting on out.
No, I'd just like to thank you guys. Always doing a good job, you commentator guys, and race control as well. Always doing a good job. So yeah, Will's already done all the sponsorship check. So yeah, thanks guys, appreciate it.
Credit to you, Daniel, for getting back out there after your PC crash, and you know, it's good that your PC didn't end up out the window and was able to still get you back in the race. But it's always tough when the race is going well, you've got good pace, you've got a good strategy, and then something beyond your control just absolutely takes it away. It's very frustrating, but good on you for going back out there and bagging some points.
Yeah, I don't know what my neighbour's name is, but they might have been on the grid next week. Anyway, everyone should go and watch Dale's TikTok videos. If you're not subscribed, go and sort it out.
He dogged me in.
Catch you guys, thank you.
Cheers, Daniel.
Yeah, and with that, we'll move on to Jeff Adams here. Jeff, tell us more about your night. Can't quite remember where you finished up in the dev class, but on the whole, how would you sum up your night?
Oh, it was a good night. I just wanted to jump in and see what you boys thought of the layout and how it all ran tonight. Did it run well on the racing? Did it look good?
Yeah, it seemed to run pretty good for the most part. Just a couple of incidents early on, which that's to be expected, with everyone being bunched up, and there being quite a number of cars here tonight. So definitely a good turnout and some good racing once we got it up and going.
Yeah, it's a challenging breakout. Sorry, Dale. Sorry, I'll just.
Yeah, you're right.
It is a challenging layout, especially with the undulating components of where you can run right wide like the NASCAR boys. Yeah, it's always a different style type of driving, and you can't just go flat up the hill with these cars. They understeer a lot. Obviously, as seen with those with the leader taking the win, he actually lapped me, so it shows how much pace I really need to work on to get myself up to pace and up to speed.
Yeah, those runoff areas were interesting because we saw everyone using them to good use, and I think sometimes when we had those battle packs at the start, it seemed like although those runoffs, they can cause a bit of chaos in the rejoins, but it gave the space there for everyone to give each other a bit of room and basically carry on without a major incident. We had a couple of real big ones, but we're looking at one of them right now. I think that was the biggest one we had tonight.
Yeah, that was
But,
that was interesting to watch from my cockpit.
Yeah, it looked like you nearly wore a Camaro in the windscreen. That would have.
Yeah, she came close to me and my teammate. We all sort of watched that happen, and it felt like slow mo watching that. I looked over to my left. I was like, oh my god, why is that up in the air? We didn't know what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Jeff, who would you like to thank for getting it done tonight, as well as your thoughts on next week?
Thoughts on next week? It's just that I hope, yeah, like I said, turn one's going to be a bit of a challenge for the V8s, but I believe, you know, this crew and the group with the two splits, I think we're pretty responsible and pretty good going. Group of guys, so I think it's I think we show a lot of respect out there, and it shows like tonight. I know there was a couple of instances, like you said, but for the better part of it, I think for the everybody gave each other room, and I think that's important to take home as a GSRC member, and I think with the V8s and the group that races, and for me to say thank you, just thanks to everybody, the running in the background, pedaling under the water there, Andrew Neal, Dale Sharp, yourself, and Tyson there for doing the broadcast. Thanks a lot, guys.
No worries. Hope to see you back here future.
Yeah, no worries. If no, it was good racing. Like, I think the layout worked well, and yeah, a couple of incidents, but all in all, it was good hard racing.
Thanks, boys. Have a good night.
Yeah, cheers, Jeff.
And with that, it leaves us with one last driver, the Dev Split winner, Jamie Fleming. Jamie, obviously must be pretty happy to walk away with the Dev Split W tonight.
Yeah, mate, a bit unexpected, but yeah, I was pretty happy with it. It was a good race overall. It was clean. Qualifying was good. The setup was good. Yeah, overall we put a fair bit of practice as a team into the track. V8s, it's been a while since we've been in the V8s, so overall it was good.
Yeah, definitely. We saw you mixing it with the couple of elite guys at points in the race. Is that definitely a goal to try and chip away at the deficit you have to the elite guys?
Oh, I'd love to say that I could maybe one day get as fast as some of those guys, but maybe it'll take a lot of practice. But I think at this stage is just if I can keep the car on the track, and I think I'll be happy with that.
Yep. All right. And looking forward to next week at Chicago.
Yeah. Yep. Chicago's a good track, and concrete walls. We'll see how that goes, but should be an interesting race.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to it. But with that, I'll leave it up to you to thank whoever you want to thank for tonight's performance.
Yeah, I just want to thanks the guys over at SCSR Racing, Jay's coaching, Track Racer, JB Designs for the car livery. Just want to give a shout out to Dom, who come in behind me. It was a good race. It was his first race, so congratulations to him. Good effort from him. Apart from that, thanks to you guys and everyone who runs GSCR.
Yep.
Yeah, no, cheers.
Yep, all good. Well, hope to see you in here more often.
Hopefully. Cheers, guys.
No worries. Cheers, Jeff.
And with that, I think we'll have a look at the week's racing heading up. So we've got Formula V's tomorrow night at Donington Park National for a super sprint format, starting at 7:25 Eastern, and then moving on to Porsches at Watkins Glen, the boot layout. So with the extension compared to tonight, with a 2-race format starting at 8:40 Eastern. Friday nights we got Brands Hatch with the Civil War GT1s for a 2-race sprint format. Not sure if that is being broadcasted. I'm not entirely sure.
I think Indy is. I'm not sure about GT1. I'm not sure what the update is there, but I'm pretty sure Indy's down.
Yeah,
Right,
and then we
definitely
obviously
the
have.
test race is being broadcast. Sorry, the first race is not being broadcast. The Indies is.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
and
copy.
obviously IndyCar at Nashville Superspeedway for 130 laps around there, starting at 8:40 Eastern, with Mountain Men on the Saturday for 32 laps, starting at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And obviously you've got Monday nights with the Slicks and Wings, the Formula Renault 3.5s, starting at 7:25 Eastern, with Virginia International Raceway for GT3s, broadcasting the AM split, starting at 8:25 Eastern. Then we got Committee's Choice on Tuesday night, non-broadcasted, with the Euro NASCARs at Bathurst, starting at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And then we got the BMW M2s at Road America for a 2-race sprint format, starting at 7:25 Eastern. And then the Supercars, as mentioned, Chicago Street Course for a 2-race sprint format, starting at 8:40 Eastern Standard Time. Dale, final thoughts on tonight's Supercar race?
No, it was a very enjoyable first night in the booth. I don't know how it come across, but I enjoyed it, and it was good racing by the boys. I think there was, what did we have, 26, 27 cars take the grid, and we had one big one. We had a couple of isolated incidents, but all in all bar just bar a few made it to the end. It was a good race to watch.
Yep. All right. Well, until next time, he's been Dale Sharp. I've been Tyson Broad. Thank you to the club sponsors in Disruptive Labs, merch.pgsrci.com, Flash Graphics, Waste Options, and Trophi.AI. And we'll see you next time.